Hello there, Beard here.
So the next one, just before we get there, the next one is possibly going to get booze. Go on. Who's keeping track? You probably know who's coming. Without a shade of the doubt, the biggest shock of the Free Cities draft is this. I have no idea how this story goes. None whatsoever. Matt, do you want to talk about this? That's fair.
So, good afternoon, handy listener, such as you are. It is Thursday, I'm on holiday, but thanks to the miracles of podcasting, I'm here talking to you. I'm joined by Panzer and Conor. Say hello, gents.
Hello, gents.
Hello!
See, I wondered if you were going to do it in unison there. You will have just heard, before this introduction, this very, very smug introduction, the sounds of Sherwin announcing the Mortician's drafting of Gaffer.
We somehow need to include the photo of you celebrating that particular draft pick.
That's got to be one of the all-time great photos.
Yeah,
it's nearly as good as the one with you in the balloon, Connor.
you've got the routine where Beard and David Cameron rush to embrace across the rows of seating.
Yeah, Dave claiming that it was his plan all along, despite playing engineers for every single match since. I don't believe him. So right at the beginning of the draft, I made something of a case for Gaffer to be a mortician, much to the chagrin of my good friend Jared McGraw, who wanted Lane in Morticians. I
was also all in on Lane to Morticians.
You were, to be fair. I wanted Obulus's Spy. I can't help but feel I have Obulus's Spy. I am very, very happy with everything we're about to talk about. Some almost incorrigibly so.
Just want to make sure. Are you have you got the windows open just to make sure if your ego expands anymore, it will still fit in the flat?
I mean, it's currently like, what, 28 degrees? The windows, they are open. He's 5'7" move, which is not slow. He's the same speed as Casket, which always surprises people. That's 5'7" speed is a movement I'm very used to using in Morticians. He has a 2.6 kick, which is sadly our average stat. Tac 5, again about average. Defense 3-1 and 16 wounds. Not great. It's that traditional Morticians being squishy just so that other people have counterplay, because apparently they need counterplay. His playbook is very much a traditional Mortician's playbook in that it makes no sense whatsoever. It has no discernible pattern, and it's one of those playbooks, as ever with all Morticians, where you just kind of look at it and go, "Oh, if only I was Tac 6." Or...
You gotta wonder if Perkins draws in the black bits of the playbook while he's at the pub. It really is just random.
Him and Bryce dice off for them.
Yeah. There is a conversation that I had with Jamie, which will be available later on this week. There we go. That's about as non-committal and committal as I can be on that particular subject, in which we talk about the design philosophies behind the guilds, behind the rookies that have been seen this week. And how each guild has like a a document that will forever be hidden from the public, which sort of goes over the design philosophy for each guild. Kind of like a mood book, I suppose, would be the way to describe it. And I can give you a direct quote from that because he gave it to me on that podcast, which is that Mortician's playbooks are consistently inconsistent, which I think is pretty apt. In terms of the usefulness of that playbook, he has a momentous tackle on 2. All right. I've got Obulus, who needs tackles. He's got a momentous push on 1. Okay. A non-momentous double push on 3. A 2 on 3. A momentous guild ball on 4. Sorry. A momentous 3 on 5. That's not to be sniffed at, considering how well Morticians can make a fight unfair. I think it's reasonable to say his playbook is not what he's about.
Yeah. Although I would say that's true for most Morticians as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, memory certainly he's all about his playbook as far as I'm concerned. And Gast is very much in that area.
Yes,
Cosset is
Gast
certainly...
was the one that came to mind to me.
Cosset and Pelage are certainly all about their playbooks. And of course, Casket. No playbook, no 4VP. Where he is amazing, and it's fair to say so far he has been average.
I would say below average, if anything.
And I think he needs to be because of the wonderful things that are about to happen. So we saw Careless Whisper debut at Vengeance 4, which is a 2-cost character play alternatively triggered momentously on the 4th common of the playbook, which is to place a Careless Whisper token, on a target enemy model. For enemy models, gain a +2 attack when attacking an enemy model with a Whisper token. Whisper tokens are only removed when the target model suffers the takeout condition.
I hope you've got a really long, slow beep.
Yeah, I'll put a foghorn in, which is apt because it was Conor.
Yeah.
This is effectively singled out that Rap's turn, and also isn't singled out in a guild that has access to singled out twice.
Yeah.
It is so strong. It's probably stronger than the premier character player ability that multiple captains have in this game.
Show you
Careless Whispers is obscenely powerful.
It's so good. It is just so good. The fact that it wraps turns...
It might be completely broken. If there was one rule on all the rookies we've seen so far that I'm worried might be too good, it's this one.
I am not. I'm very happy. I've said all along that I was going to go and play wherever Gaffer ended up. Somehow I felt a degree of affinity for a character that is older than everyone else and talks constantly about Guild Ball.
He needs a better beard, though.
It does need a better beard, and that is being handled for me by the man that painted my blacksmiths. He's putting a better beard on there for me and giving him a better haircut.
Yeah, I gotta say, as much as has been said in the past, and was said during the draft about how Morticians have the best haircuts, don't think Gaffer is not helping them.
I mean, he's only just joined. Let's give him some time. Careless Whisper is tremendous. Just for, I've got that jailed model, that I've got the end of the turn. Cool. Like, I can punch him a couple of times, or maybe Gast has knocked him down in his defense 3. That's worth throwing out. A couple of influence on a character play. It's 4 inches. And that, I think, is the fact that it's 4 inches, it's once per turn, it's taking 2/3 of his influence is a really, really strong counterbalance to how good Careless Whisper is. Yeah, I can't put one influence on him and hope I get it off the playbook.
I mean, you can, but only with quite a bit of setup.
Only with quite a bit of setup.
If only you had a bunch of tack buffs and a model with lure, that would be very helpful.
If only. Where where it's very, very, very good is the somewhat elephant in the room legendary play. I'm not very good
Weird
with
name, though.
Weird name. I'm not very good with compliments, so thank you, Steamforged, for whatever reason you have decided to do this. I am very much looking forward to listening to half a dozen podcasts this week say handy listeners such as you are.
Well, we might need to clip those and make a clip show.
Oh, that's a good idea. There's my outro.
Oh no!
Oh, that's
and
good.
You can especially play it back to that guy who keeps commenting. Well, I do get fed up with the amount of times he says "handy listener."
And you know what? And fair play to that fella. He doesn't like it, and he said it to my face. I got no problem with that.
So you're going to say it back to him 27 times?
No. Yes. Anyone that remembers Connor and I's high fidelity days
That's
may remember.
exactly what I was thinking about.
May remember the Pandora episode.
Still potentially the greatest work we've ever done.
100%. 100%. I'm sure Mike would agree with us. Going in against a model that's being jailed at the end of turn 1 or turn 2, whenever it is, putting Careless Whisper on them, and then using that legendary play to put that token on any model on the pitch. There is no range. Like, I don't care where you have put your captain. I don't care where you've put Naja in cover with the ball. I can get +2 tack on them. That's awesome. That is strong.
Yeah.
And that's like, and then we have the knowledge. So the knowledge is an active trait that, for no influence, puts a +2 kick range on their models. So
Pretty cool.
that's going to be a 10-inch kick for Bonesaw. That's going to be a 3/8 scalpel. The concept of a 3/8 scalpel should worry you.
I'm a big fan of the 2/8 Obulus.
The 2/8 Obulus, absolutely grand. A 1/8 Ghast, that's hilarious. A 3/6 Memory.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. A 3/8 Pelage. A 3/8 Skulk. A 1/6 Vile Swarm. No, perhaps not. A 2/6 Dirge. That's not bad.
Excellent.
Like, that gives Dirge a 16-inch goal threat. You know?
Or an amusing one, a 2/8 Morn.
I also
Surprise!
I also just like the fact that since it's free, you can throw it out every turn without really caring if it comes up.
Yep.
But it can, and it's not something that's going to massively change people's game plans. But just putting at turn 1, just putting it on whoever you kicked off with,
Yeah.
just makes the kickoff threat a bit better.
You're just kind of like, I actually have to do something about that. Finally, we come to the thing which personally I think is the best thing on Gaffer's card, and that's Red Fury.
Yeah, Mr. Rageman Crush.
Yeah.
You said something about someone stealing Skulk's abilities earlier. I feel kind of bad someone stealing Vet Rage's most significant ability.
Yeah, but we're not gonna lie, not feeling great about that one. But as the current, best in guild union player,
With
for the
what, a
UK.
20-something% win record?
Oh yes, not even that. The fact that he is a 3 influence cap, I think, is the single reason why Red Fury, why he's a 2/3 influence cap. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
so it's not as good as Rage, because it shouldn't be, because Rage is a captain model. And who knows, we do know we have a balance errata coming at some point. We do know that Steamforged are well aware of the issues surrounding Union. Who knows what Rage will look like in a couple of months' time. Hopefully he's
the same.
Quiet you.
I'm hoping he's as common as he is now, which means nobody will remember what he looks like.
It cannot be stressed how good Red Fury is in Morticians.
Well,
Yeah,
It can't.
especially with all those tack buffs.
We have so many tack buffs, and what this means is we have ways of putting out tack buffs without activating models. So using Red Fury on Pelage so that she singles something out before she's activated is huge.
Using Red Fury on gas to knock down a model so it's lower defense for you to throw a 2-die Careless Whisper at.
Yeah, is huge. Or like Gast's gone and knocks down a whole bunch of stuff because, that's what he does. And they throw out a smelling salts. Cool. I'm going to Red Fury you all so you sit yourself back down again.
So the interplay with Morn's Malice I find hilarious potentially as well.
100%.
You can just see your opponent's face. That model's activated. Why have you given it Malice? Well, because Gaffer's got 3 influence.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can get 7 attacks out of memory.
The one
you
I
would
think,
go there.
Oh, 100%.
The craziest part about Gaffer, though, like, as good as Red Fury is, Careless Whispers just wrapping the turn means kills that you would normally need a turn of an activation of setup for or 2. You just don't. And, like, the idea of just tooling up Scalpel and then just being like, Gaffer hasn't gone... Like, turn 1, you just tool up Scalpel. And, like, if Gaffer can get his hands on anything, which he probably shouldn't because your opponent would be crazy, but if you receive and just dodge him forward, like, if you can just get Careless Whispers on anyone, a tooled up Scalpel just kills them.
100%. Like
that is... For all the cool, exciting stuff that can be done in Morn and in other things and in Obulus, I think in the end it's just like tooled up Scalpel with even more attack buffs that wrap the turn is just going to be insufferable.
That's the big thing is like there is no captain that Gaffer doesn't work really well with. Like as you said, he potentially makes Scalpel a TAC 9 model. Potentially TAC 11 if there's a singled out thrown out there as well, with a 3/8 kick. That's phenomenal.
Friend of the show, Rich Bream, is somewhere and he's extremely happy and doesn't know why.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully by the time he listens to this, he'll know why.
That's true.
No, he won't need to listen to this
as we record. He does wonders with Obulus in turning like Obulus into a 2/8 kick, or just meaning. If Obulus gets crowded out by a bunch of stuff and you've used your unpredictable, well, I can use Red Fury on Obulus to get him out very easily.
Or just... Obulus is very good at bringing things into your lines, but his playbook is pretty trash. So he's often quite bad at going first in the turn, whereas if you can turn 1 drag someone in like he always does, and then have Gaffer put Careless Whispers on them, now Obulus actually can threat killing them turn 2.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, and I do think Obulus probably has the least synergy with Gaffer, but that's more just because I think you will run him in Morn every game you play Morn.
And I think that's really where he's strong, is how much he does for Morn in just having Gast put out 6 attacks, and with +2 tack from Gaffer and +2 tack from Morn. Having a TAC 10 Gast, and if you can get a singled out in there, a TAC 12 Gast with 6 attacks, you are going to unmask the world. Like, I've not spoken to him about it, but I'm pretty sure Dan Adams will be playing Morn and Gaffer from now on, given how much he loves unmasking stuff with Fang 2.
Just a TAC 9 Pelage gives me the warm fuzzies.
This team,
you are limited only by your imagination with Gaffer, which is the best kind of model, frankly.
He is definitely going to be a priority kill, that's for sure.
And he's not a difficult kill either. Like, a 3-1 and 16 health with a garbage counterattack, he's going down.
And the key, I think the key for dealing with Gaffer is do not let him get a Careless Whisper token out turn 1.
Because whoever he puts it on, it's not on them as soon as he puts it somewhere else.
Exactly. And the thing is, since he can only put out 1 a turn, like, just avoiding that being on anyone turn 1 is very important. Or at least make him hold it till him going last activation, so even if he gets it on someone, you can't take advantage of it turn 1.
Mm-hmm. Also, do note, if he can get multiple Careless Whisper tokens out, he can move all of them with the wonderfully named Legendary. So... if he can hit your mascot and a model that's prisoned, and then put them on your captain and your prize striker, he can. It's so good. It is so good. Again, I think it bears repeating. Like, if members of Steamforged, if you're listening, I'm incredibly humbled and touched by the compliment that you have paid me with this. Thank you very much.
And also, when you nerf Gaffer, please don't change the ability, or Rich will cry.
I'm being contrite here. It's like there is no greater compliment to a hobbyist than this. So thank you very much. I'm moving on before I embarrass myself. What is he doing with a full stack of influence?
Careless Whispers and Red Fury.
Whatever he wants.
I can't see a turn where you wouldn't put 3 on him. Like
especially in Morn, you can put 3 on.
I don't think I would put. Well, I was going to say turn 1, but no, you probably want 3 on him turn 1.
Like there are very every Morticians player at some point will have done this, and if you haven't, you're going too soon. Where you declare casket time and whiff the final attack.
Yeah.
It sadly it happens. One thing to bear in mind with casket time is it is a legendary play and therefore lasts until the end of the turn. So there have been corner cases in games where I have puppet mastered casket to make an attack to make sure that the casket time comes off. Or, if you declare casket time too early and your opponent counterattacks and dodges away, which isn't hard against a 3-1 casket, you can use Puppet Master to put them back in, or Lure to put them back in, or double pushes from Gas to put them back in against casket, and Red Fury. So it's not a situation that comes up often for me, thankfully. But this is a way of getting out of wasting casket time, and choice.
And just, man, the synergy he has with so many different models. I actually think the hardest part about Gaffer is going to be, like, what do you take in that 6?
I mean, and that's always the difficult thing with Morticians is option paralysis. Which is fair because we have to have a downside apart from squishiness and play style, I guess.
Playbooks.
Even if you put nothing on him, knowledge is useful. The knowledge is just you've got an extra 2 inches of kick. That's huge. I think we're going to see more of Morn as a result of Gaffer coming out, which is nice because I'm a big fan of her. I'm a bit of a Morn apologist. I'm always arguing her case in various groups. I love her in the mirror. Absolutely love her in the mirror. I've got more attack than you. I've got a higher threat extension, and I'm immune to casket time. This is a wonderful place to be in the mirror.
But the one time I've ever broken the Discord was when I took Morticians down south, and somebody lost their mind that I'd beaten Obulus 12-4 with Morn.
Oh, that
I remember
was funny.
that vividly.
It's
like,
that was funny. Also, Tac 9 Scalpel is Tac 9 Scalpel.
Tac 9 Scalpel with a 3/8 kick. Ugh, it's really hard to leave Scalpel behind with Gaffer
Also,
available.
the legendary threats a lot, even if you don't put influence on them, as long as there's a Whisper token out from some time earlier in the game.
Very true. I said at SteamCon last year, I wanted Obulus Spy. I wanted a model that would go. Brick was in a fight last week. He's got a dodgy knee. Go for that knee. I wanted a model that represented the machinations and the conniving nature of the Morticians in the backrooms, and I've 100% got that. And I am unwaveringly happy about Gaffer, more so than like any other model that's been released in Guild Ball. I do wonder if this is a subtle ploy by Steamforged to get me to stop flip-flopping.
It's not going to work, but it's a lovely sentiment, guys.
But I think it's a damn good try. I could do this all evening. I'm not going to. I am very happy. I hope everyone else is made miserable by Gaffer.
We will be.
Excellent. Until next time, handy viewers, such as you are, I hopefully will soon have a better outro of just the recording of lots of other people saying that.
Goodbye, handy listener.
Oh my God. Becky, look at his beard. It's just so beard.
Obey the beard!